So welcome to Love to Film. This is where I'm normally editing, but I'm catching up with my summer edits. So I'm recording this on the Osmo action camera because I thought, why not? I've just got it, I'm testing it out. Maybe for weddings, maybe, just to have fun with. But it's pretty good quality, shooting on 4K. But something happened the other week. So if you're here, hopefully you know I shoot weddings, shoot video for weddings. And I just got a new body, another A7 III, having previously had the A65, which I had loads of batteries for because the batteries don't last long. So I just got a couple, so I only had, say, 4 FZ100 batteries. They should have all been charged, that I found out they weren't. My mistake, not good. So I put another one on charge. As I left bride prep, I purposefully found a charge point outside of the room in case the room got locked, and went down to set up for the ceremony, thinking that's fine. I don't have to shoot the entire wedding on an action camera, which wouldn't be great. When I'd finished that, we then went out and the photographers were setting up for formals. I thought I'll go and retrieve my battery, it should be charged. Wasn't there. I'm looking around this grand stately home, running around corridors, find a member of staff. Oh, well, they cleared that room. Yeah, but it wasn't in the room. I tried to explain. Really beginning to panic. And it was the mental processing. It was thinking, I haven't shot for a couple of weeks. I always used to carry a backup of a backup, if you like. So batteries, SD cards. But I wasn't in that position, or maybe my head wasn't in the right space. But I began to think, what do I do in this scenario? Fortunately, the end of the story is I found the charger, it was fine, and the rest of the day went without a hitch. But I thought, what are those, not what's in your camera bag, but what are the extra little bits you can either leave in a car or you stow away somewhere and go, okay, if all else fails, I've got these. So I began to think, I've got, well, I'll talk you through them. A power bank, handy, but I didn't even have the lead packed. I just used that for charging my camera. But in theory, I could also power the Sony cameras with one of those and the USB lead, which I didn't bring. Some handy gaffer tape. That has got me out of a fix many times. Not necessarily when shooting weddings, but when I used to shoot more commercial stuff. Very handy, but I always still carry some. So that's not necessarily my camera bag, but these things are in the car often. I do put one of these in. Sensor wipe. Don't really want to be wiping my sensor, so to speak, in the field on the day, on a wedding day. Make sure it's clean beforehand. But maybe this is sort of, this whole video could be distilled by this plaster band-aid. I was shooting bride prep, this was last year, and I enthusiastically pulled the bag out of the car and smacked my head on the corner of my boot trunk, and only made a small cut in my forehead, but quite a lot of blood. That could have really, saved me a few minutes. It wasn't really about making sure it was clean and a medical procedure. It was more about making sure I'm not bleeding on myself and turning up to bride prep, with blood pouring down my face. I've had other scenarios. A Hindu wedding, there's about 100 guests, at least. Well, there's 500 ultimately, but about 100 in the procession following the groom, and I thought I'm going to get cut off. And in a Hindu ceremony, the groom is quite important, so the bride's family welcome him. I thought, I'm not going to see this. There was various things I needed to capture. So I raced down the side of one of these semi-permanent marquees, and it was just a river. It was like a river of turd, up to my ankles. I don't carry spare trousers. I've heard of a photographer who split his trousers all the way around the backside. You're going to feel pretty vulnerable. So it's what things do you carry? What things are in your bag? Like I say, I don't carry spare clothes particularly, other than to change into when I've finished for the day, to drive home if it's a long drive. But what are those things you have to have? For me, I have to have water. I now carry a plaster, emergency backup banana just when your blood sugar goes low. But beyond that, those key things for me, power bank has been really useful, gaffer tape and a plaster. But what about you? What are your stories? What's in your bag? What do you suggest? I'll be interested to hear. Right, thank you. I'm going to go back and do some more editing.